Te sentía el miedo.
ただ落ち着いてこの試合に挑んできてるなっていうのは感じてました。今までで一番この試合に向けて準備してきたんで、その心配。
Naoya Inoue, the undefeated monster, seemed untouchable until May 4th, 2025. That night, Ramon Cardenas, boasting a near-perfect 26-1 record, stepped into the ring determined to shatter Inoue's invincible aura. What unfolded was a clash so intense, so unpredictable, it left the boxing world holding its breath and questioning if the monster had finally met his match. Naoya Inoue's name strikes fear in the hearts of his opponents. He's not just a fighter, he's a phenomenon. With an undefeated record of 30 wins, 27 of those by knockout, and a 90% KO rate, Inoue has earned the nickname The Monster. It's not just a moniker, it's a statement. He dismantles opponents with precision, power, and a calm ruthlessness that's become his signature.
Naoya Inoue, the monster, is moving up in weight to see if he can claim 2 more belts.
But on May 4th, 2025, at the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada, the stakes were higher than ever. Across the ring stood Ramon Cardenas, a fighter who wasn't intimidated by the monster's shadow.
Hold it, boys, just like that. Good job.
Cardenas wasn't just any opponent. With a record of 26 wins and only 1 loss, statistically, he was more successful than anyone Inoue had faced before. Critics were buzzing. Fans were divided. Could this be the fighter to finally test Inoue in ways we hadn't seen before? The stage was set, and the tension in the air was palpable. This wasn't just a fight, it was a potential turning point in the career of one of boxing's most dominant figures. Inoue's dominance had been so absolute that some question whether he'd ever truly been pushed to his limits. Cardenas, with his confidence and skill, promised to do just that. In the ring, the tension was electrifying. Both fighters carried the weight of their records and reputations. But for Inoue, it was more than that. It was about protecting a legacy built punch by punch, round by round, year after year. For Cardenas, it was about proving that no one, not even the monster, was unbeatable. The bell rang, and the fight was on.
It's fight time, it's thump time.
From the opening bell, Ramon Cardenas came in like a man on a mission, and that mission was simple: overwhelm Naoya Inoue. Relentless is an understatement for Cardenas' approach in the early rounds. He targeted Inoue's body with laser-sharp combinations, testing the champion in a way we hadn't seen before. This wasn't a case of wild, swinging punches. Every shot was calculated, purposeful, and precise. The monster. For once, he looked a little human. Here's the kicker. Cardenas outperformed Inoue on the stat sheet. Yes, you heard that right. In the first 2 rounds, Cardenas landed an impressive 30% of his punches compared to Inoue's 25%. When was the last time anyone could say they had outlanded Inoue in any capacity? It's almost unheard of. It wasn't just the numbers, it was the energy. The challenger had the momentum, and for a brief moment, it felt like we were witnessing something historic. But if there's one thing we know about Naoya Inoue, it's that he doesn't crumble under pressure. He studies, he adjusts, and he counters. While Cardenas poured on the pressure, Inoue responded with pinpoint jabs that were as sharp as a surgeon's scalpel. His counters weren't just defensive, they were statements. The fight stayed close, but there was an undeniable sense of suspense. Was the monster's reign finally in jeopardy? By the time we reached the 5th round, things began to shift dramatically. This was the moment the monster came alive. The first 4 rounds had been a battle of endurance and wit. But round 5, that was all power. Inoue turned up the heat, landing a staggering 15 power punches in a single round. For context, that's the kind of output that leaves opponents second-guessing their life choices. Cardenas, for the first time, looked rattled. His confidence wavered, his movements slowed, and the balance of the fight shifted. What made this round particularly masterful was Inoue's strategy. He wasn't just relying on brute strength, he brought precision footwork into the mix. He controlled the distance, dictating the pace of the fight as if he were conducting an orchestra. Every movement had a purpose. Every punch was a calculated risk. Was this the beginning of the end for Cardenas? All signs pointed to yes.
And that sends Cardenas back a few steps. And another right hand. Oh, and he knocks him down!
Then came the 8th round, the grand crescendo of this symphony of violence. The crowd, already at a fever pitch, erupted as Inoue unleashed a flurry of punches that could only be described as devastating. Cardenas, who had started so strong, had no answer. The fight-ending combination included a crushing right hook that sent shockwaves through the arena and marked Inoue's 27th knockout victory. It happened fast, just 45 seconds into the round, but the impact was seismic.
Again, too much firepower. I don't care. He doesn't care. Yeah, you drop me. However, guess what? I'm going to drop it.
Let's talk numbers because they matter here. Over the course of the fight, Inoue threw a jaw-dropping 500 punches, landing 45% of them. But the real story was his power shots, which landed with a staggering 60% accuracy. Those kinds of stats are more than impressive, they're elite. It's no wonder the T-Mobile Arena crowd roared as the referee stepped in to stop the fight. Let's rewind the clock to August 25th, 2013. Back then, Naoya Inoue was just a 20-year-old kid with only 3 professional fights under his belt. He stepped into the ring against Ryoichi Taguchi, a seasoned fighter who was no stranger to the grind of a long fight. This wasn't just a challenge, it was a baptism by fire. Taguchi wasn't looking to be anyone's stepping stone, and he proved it by becoming the only fighter in Inoue's career to last the full scheduled rounds. That's right, the only one. No knockdowns, no stoppages, just 10 grueling rounds of boxing that left both men exhausted but left Inoue victorious by unanimous decision.
最終目標として一つ目のフェザー級はチャレンジしていきたいなと思ってます。
Fast forward to May 4th, 2025, and it's almost surreal to see how far Inoue has come. Back in the Taguchi fight, Inoue threw a respectable 400 punches, a solid output for a rookie. But against Ramon Cardenas, the monster unleashed over 500 punches, a clear testament to his growth as a fighter. What's changed? Everything. Inoue has evolved from a promising talent to a polished, undisputed champion. Back then, he relied on raw talent and determination. Now he combines that with strategy, precision, and the kind of power that makes opponents question their career choices. The difference between Taguchi and Cardenas also tells a fascinating story about the types of challenges Inoue has faced. Taguchi was all about endurance. He took everything Inoue threw at him and kept coming back for more. Cardenas, on the other hand, brought relentless tactical aggression. He didn't just survive, he pushed Inoue to adapt and adjust. These fights, though wildly different, highlight one thing. Naoya Inoue isn't just a knockout artist, he's a problem solver in the ring.
Undefeated, undisputed junior featherweight champion of the world, Naoya, the Monster Inoue.
Now let's talk about what this latest fight with Cardenas proved. For starters, it showed that even when facing a fighter with a better statistical record, Inoue doesn't flinch. And here's the kicker. Inoue's adaptability is what separates him from the pack. When Cardenas brought the pressure early, Inoue didn't panic. He adjusted. By the 5th round, he had flipped the script entirely, landing 15 power punches in a single round and turning the fight in his favor. That's not luck, that's skill. That's the mark of a fighter who's as cerebral as he is powerful.
そうですね、そういうそのダウンを期待されては困りますけどもなんだろうな、このダウンっていうものがやっぱり自分にこう火をつけるというか、やっぱりファイターなんだなっていうのは思いました。
So what does this mean for Inoue's legacy? Does this fight cement his place as one of the greatest boxers of all time? Honestly, it's hard to argue otherwise. Inoue isn't just winning, he's doing it against elite competition across multiple weight classes and in style. He's now 30-0 with 27 knockouts and undisputed championships in 2 weight divisions. That's the kind of resume that gets you mentioned alongside the legends of the sport. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The question now is, who's next? With his dominance at super bantamweight secured, the logical step might be a move up to featherweight. Imagine him squaring off against champions like Lee Wood.
Conditioning, but he's shown a lot. And look, he's coming back here.
Yeah, nice body work, and then he's softened him off upstairs as well. Well, he's made a big there. That's
Or Ray Vargas.
Con muy buena técnica, una gran movilidad, y ahí está, el derechazo perfecto.
Those would be blockbuster fights, no doubt. But would they be enough to truly test the monster? To beat Inoue, a fighter would need more than just speed, power, or stamina. They'd need a combination of all 3, plus the mental toughness to withstand his relentless pressure. That's a tall order, and so far, no one's been able to meet it. So, as the dust settles on his latest victory, one thing is clear: Naoya Inoue isn't just a boxer, he's a phenomenon. Tested, challenged, and pushed to the brink, he still stands tall. He doesn't just fight, he conquers. And as long as he's in the ring, the question isn't whether he'll win, it's how long it'll take him to remind the world why he's called the monster. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to know more about legendary fights in the history.